All right, so I'm sitting here today with Abe Brown, the president of the Certified Coaches Federation. You may have heard me talking about the Certified Coaches Federation being a big part of everybody's journey that's in the Healthy, Wealthy, Wise coaching program, because we all realize the importance of being a coach, having a coach, and really being that next level of influence to really change our lives. So, Abe, I would love to know, what is a coach to you, and what does that mean?
Well, coaching is something that's, honestly exploding in popularity all over the world. And I think the reason for that is because it frankly has been around for centuries and centuries. I mean, humanity, people kind, we need connection. This isn't just mental or emotional. This is actually biological. It's physiological. And part of how all of us grow is by, I don't want to maybe use the term latching on, but kind of hanging on to someone who's gone a bit further than us. And then, kind of learning from their journey. I mean, I have 3 kids, and one of the benefits of having 3 kids, because believe me, there's a lot of expenses, but one of the benefits is that the younger kids learn from the older. And so, that's why honestly, your second child often walks faster than the first one, or sooner. They often are potty trained sooner. It's not because they're smarter, it's because they've got a guide or a roadmap to follow. And so for me, I mean, I was so blessed in that when I started my coaching career about 11 years ago now, I had Derek Sweet. And, so you can imagine everything that's been built now, Healthy, Wealthy, Wise, CCF, at that time, it wasn't anywhere close to what it is today, but Derek was Derek, so he's always been the guy that he is now, and that's empowering and supportive, holds you accountable. But he sort of became a roadmap to me, and really, when I had questions, when I wondered about things, I either would talk to him or I'd just watch him, and the answers would quickly follow. And so that's a big part of what coaching has been for me. It's been support, it's been accountability, it's been a roadmap, and frankly, I'm absolutely positive I wouldn't be where I am today without it.
Awesome. And so just explain a little bit about the Certified Coaches Federation, how it came to be, and someone that might be watching, why they might be interested in doing that.
Yeah, well, honestly, I mean, like I was saying, coaching is exploding in popularity all over the world, and not only is that because we need connection, but also because there's a business case for this. So, people who have coaches, they tend to be more productive, they tend to be happier, they tend to be more profitable, they tend to have better communication skills, they tend to make better sales, like all of the sort of business outcomes that if you're running a business, you want to have. Coaching supports. And so, Derek, is the founder. When I joined CCF, I think, we had trained maybe around 1,000 people. That was back in, 2008 at that point. And now we've trained and certified over 13,000 people in over 50 countries around the world. And so, Derek's approach to coaching, was he looked at the space and saw lots of very complicated approaches. If you want to be trained and certified as a coach, it was going to take you about 18 months and about $15,000. Even myself, I was a registered therapist before I got into coaching. I'd also been a pastor for 13 years, and I had a master's degree. And I was rated by one of these coaching associations as needing another 18 months of training and $15,000. And I just thought that was crazy. Like, if I'm going to spend 15 grand, I'll just go get another degree. But I'm not going to spend 15 grand on somebody's certification program. So I think the genius of Derek was helping people to understand, not going down all the rabbit trails of, oh, here's what you need to be a wellness coach, or here's what you need to be a dating coach, and here's what you need to be a confidence coach. But what is the coaching model at its core? What's the framework that we need to understand? And can you teach that in 2 days? Yes, because you strip away all of the fluff and you really give people exactly what they need. Now, in 2 days, that doesn't make you an amazing coach, but at least you have the understanding of that framework, and then you're able to apply it in other places and other situations. If you want to be a wellness coach, the framework applies. If you want to be a dating coach, the framework applies. And so, I think that's been the magic of it. And so, people who might be watching, hey, I mean, I have literally taken about 3,000 people through this program myself. Everything from dentists to lawyers to university professors to social workers to clinical therapists to hairdressers and massage therapists and accountants and landscape artists, right? I mean, tradespeople, because every one of us are working with people. And this course in 2 days will give you skills to make you amazing.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And the nice part about that is that the Healthy, Wealthy, and Wise coaching program is like the parent company, if you want to look at it that way. And within that program, so say someone watching is like, oh, I'm interested in this program, the Healthy, Wealthy, and Wise coaching program, this Certified Coaches Federation and the Master Coach certification, which is a $5,000 program, I believe.
Yeah.
That's included into your membership. So just explain the value about why people might want to be looking into this program, like what value is being offered.
Well, I mean, the value is staggering. So if you can imagine the landscape, and when I bring people into the Healthy, Wealthy, and Wise program, I always kind of give them a good history because, really it was launched, Healthy, Wealthy, and Wise, the coaching program, about 5 years ago. I was either the first or the second member, and it was. I think it's a race between either Mike Chambers or myself, and it was kind of we had all these levels of training. So, like you said, the level 1, which is the 2-day, the level 2, which is taught by our CEO Rod McDonald, unbelievable business development for coaches, and then we have level 3, and we had a group coaching certification. And then we had these other courses around how to be a public speaker. And so, we decided to bundle them all together. And not only, obviously, when you bundle things, is there a cost benefit? So it went from taking all these as one-offs at about $13,000 down to $5,000. But then it was also about putting a coach into the mix, because a lot of our coaches weren't really thriving because they didn't have a coach themselves. And it's almost comical that I would be a coach and expect success if I don't have a coach, right? I mean, it's inherently hypocritical in some ways, but it's also just bad business, because I need someone looking at my life and my business practices to help me get better. And so, if somebody's watching and thinking about the Health, Wealth, and Wellness program, not only are you going to have an absolute roadmap and track for becoming a coach and building your business and dealing with all of the programming issues and the sort of subconscious biases and insecurities and negative programming that many of us have, but you're also going to have a coach who's going to be there for you, support you, somebody who's got your back and with you through the highs and the lows. And believe me, life is filled with highs and lows, but we need some support to get there.
Yeah. What do you feel is the biggest shift in people as a result of joining the Healthy, Wealthy, and Wise coaching program?
Well, what I've seen, honestly, is that there were a lot of coaches who had unbelievable stuff in here, and they didn't know how to get it out into the real world. I mean, I could name a whole bunch of them. Many of them I'm their coach, and many of them I know, Greg, you've worked with, and others. And so it really gave people a program, a model, a framework to take the dreams and the visions of living a life of freedom, living a life of impact, and getting them out there. I think also, on the note of freedom, this program has liberated a lot of people financially. And, let's be honest. I mean, I don't like the fact that I have to pay these bills, and I don't like the fact that life costs money and that we have this capitalist world, but that is what that is. And so what do I have to do? Well, I've got to earn money in order to have the life that I dream about. And what's amazing with the stock picks and with the opportunity to build your own business by bringing people in, is that, this program has changed people's lives. And, one of the folks that I work with in this program is Annette Park, and she's unbelievable. And I remember Annette and bringing her into the program, and within 1 month, she had tripled her initial investment in the program just due to a stock pick that went crazy. So she paid her $5,000 to join. She, at that time, immediately put her money into one of Derek's stock picks. And by the end of January, she had joined at the end of December, she had tripled that $5,000. And so it's like a no-brainer, because I get all of this stuff. So that's been transformational. I mean, if you listen to Annette, you listen to many of the folks that I've worked with in the program, like, it has changed their lives. They're not living paycheck to paycheck anymore. She still has a job, and that's cool, right? Because you want your financial security. Maybe at some point she'll choose to leave. I know others have done that. I'm fully a coach. That's all I do. But, even if you have a job, you don't want that job to have complete power over you, right? I mean, it's disempowering when you're afraid to lose your job every day because you don't have any other source of income. And so the Healthy, Wealthy, and Wise has really helped people build their side hustles and get some financial freedom.
Yeah. So at the core of the financial aspect, what do you think the biggest reason we want to earn more is?
Well, one of the things that is amazing about a lot of the leaders in the program, Derek for sure, Marcia, I know myself and others. It's I'm not trying to make money so I have a nicer BMW in my driveway than the guy next door, right? I mean, the stuff is nice, and I drive a nice car because I have kids and I want to make sure that everything's safe and functional. But we want to earn money so that we can live a comfortable life and take care of the people that we love, but also so that we can give back. I mean, for years, I had a poverty mindset. I was raised just outside of Toronto. And though, I know we hear a lot about concepts like white privilege and all of that today, not every white person or not every black person or Asian person fits the stereotype. And for me, I was raised in poverty, got my first job as an 8-year-old to help put food on the table. And so I had this mindset of poverty. And so, when you have a mindset of poverty, here's what's interesting is you become selfish. And it's not because you're a bad person, but it's because, that can of spaghetti in the pantry, that might be the only can you get for the next 3 or 4 days. And if you give that away, you're not even going to be able to eat. Literally, that's kind of how we were raised. And so when you get financially free, your mindset shifts. And rather than seeing that can of spaghetti or whatever as being a scarce resource, you see it as a seed that you begin to sow. And you think about a farmer. I mean, imagine being a farmer. You've got a couple of seeds left. Well, what are you going to do? You can't eat everything you have, because if you do, you won't have a harvest tomorrow. So you got to take some of that seed and plant it. And so that's what a poverty mindset and the breaking down of that mindset will do, is it will help you have this mindset of giving back. And I'm so grateful. My wife and I, we give tens of thousands to charities and supporting other people. Oh, sorry. This often happens to me on these video calls. Jasmine, good morning, everyone. This is my daughter. Can you say hi? That's Greg.
Cute.
She likes to just pop in my office and say hi to everybody. So, Jazz, do you want to go eat your breakfast? No. Okay. What do you want to do?
Should look at people.
That's right.
Hello.
Love you, sweetie.
Dada.
Okay, you go say hi to Nana and get some food.
No.
No? Okay. Well, she'll just sit here and we'll just keep talking. How's that?
That's quite a thing. Yeah. So actually, you know what? That's going to bring me to our next point is, how important is it that someone or anyone does this program in terms of their empowering their children? Like, let's talk about empowerment.
For parents, the reality is everything you do is for your kids, right? Like, I've got 3 kids, and I'll tell you, my life would be a lot simpler. I'd have a much smaller house, if I didn't have kids. They cost money, but also time. And so the greatest gift is the fact that because this program has freed me, I'm able to pick up my daughter most days from school. I'm able to spend more time with her. And look at this. I mean, what better investment is there than this, right? And so, I think also in the program, there are lots of great webinars on things like relationships and spirituality, and how is it that we can be healthy in terms of our eating, our exercise, and all of those pieces. And all of that stuff, we want to give to our kids so that we can make sure we protect and support the next generation.
Yeah. This program is really set up on a big element of leadership, right? And we want to lead by example. That's why we have the spirituality, the relationship, the nutrition, the investment thing. It's all about so that we can really empower, like take our community and empower other communities around the world, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, that empowerment, I think, is the key to the success, because, you know, there's an interesting metaphor that I often talk about, and it's the metaphor of the Dead Sea. You know, it's actually a body of water in Israel, and it's the only body of water on planet Earth, apparently, that nothing can live in. And it's literally called the Dead Sea, you know, because it's dead.
Yeah.
And when you look at why it's dead, it's because it has an inflow. So there's a river that comes into it. So it has a source of supply, but it has no outflow. And so, you know, the key to health in all of our lives is we need to have an inflow, but we also need an outflow. And so Healthy, Wealthy, and Wise, we're all receiving from all of these great courses and from our coaches and from the webinars and from Derek and from Rod and Mike and Rhonda and all these great leaders, but we're also giving out, you know, and no matter what level you're at in the program, as soon as you come in, you want to start giving, you know, because literally the day after you join, you can sign up clients, and then you have an opportunity to not just receive, but also give. Okay, sweetie, go get your food. Go on. Okay.
Too much fun.
Sorry, everybody.
No. So I want to ask you about your vision for 1 year, 5 years, or 10 years within the Healthy, Wealthy, and Wise, and as well as for yourself and your family.
Yeah. So, I mean, for me, my vision is, you know, I think, you know, I've probably got more, you know, I mean, I've got about 30 people that work with me directly in the program, which is, you know, too much really. And I can't really bring any more in. So my entire vision is helping activate those folks to bring more in, and to, you know, not because, you know, the program needs more, but because as we bring people in, what happens is all of that principle of giving and pouring out to others gets activated. So really in the next year, I want to see of the 30 people that I'm working with, I want to see, you know, 20 of them for sure bring in about 20 people each, because that's going to change their lives. The changing of their lives means that they're going to have that financial freedom. They're going to have the opportunity to build healthy relationships and to do all of those things that are important. I think, you know, 5 years from now, you know, I think that we will have seen this program spread globally. I mean, to some degree, we're already there. But, you know, sort of the beachhead right now is in North America.
Yeah.
But, you know, when you look at all of the areas of opportunity, Asia, Europe, you know, South America, Central America, Africa, I mean, it's just profound. You know, Australia, New Zealand, you know, how many people this program can impact. And when you have that holistic idea of health and wellness and well-being, not only for ourselves, but for the planet and for the people we love, you really see how this program can change the world.
Yeah, and I think if people actually just sat down for a second and said, where do I want myself to be in the world? What do I want the world to look like? I think a lot of the things that would align with what you were saying align with a lot of people. And if you align with that, if you're someone watching right now that aligns with that, then at least just open up a conversation with any one of the coaches in the program.
Yeah.
Because it's just a conversation, and there's nothing, we're never trying to sell what we do. We're simply trying to celebrate it and bring in more people that really fit that ideology.
Yeah, you know, and honestly, and what you're saying, Greg, is really important, because I've actually told people who wanted to join with me that they're not ready.
Right.
And you know, it's not in any way a rejection, but I've said, you know, this program, it's not just checking off a box. It's not just making a payment. You know, it's actually embracing a lifestyle. And so, you know, never, if someone's interested, never feel pressure. We're not going to pressure you. You might not even be ready for us, and that's actually okay, because you're on a journey, and we want to support that. But exactly what you said, Greg, I mean, it is absolutely worth a conversation with someone to explore it. Often people will, I've had a lot of people like Annette. I talked about Annette Park, who's wonderful. She spent 4 years thinking about joining the program, and that is absolutely okay. She needed to do that so that her life would be in alignment. But then when she did join, she saw incredible results. I don't know many people who saw within the first 6 months as great results as she did. And I think a lot of the reason for that is because she put a lot of time and effort into getting ready. So have a conversation, right? I mean, we're not meant to live our lives in isolation, hiding behind walls and afraid to engage. I mean, we've got to engage. We've got to talk to people, figure out if it's a fit. If it's not a fit, it's all good. The universe has something else for you.
Very true. Yeah. Is there anything else you would like to add about your passions, your purpose, and how it relates to the program, or even outside of that?
Well, no, I mean, the biggest thing that I always tell people, and it's, I've shared the story so many times, but, my career, I started as pastor in a church, and I started very young. So literally 20 years old. I did that for 13 years professionally. That was my job. So of course I did a lot of funerals, and did over 100 funerals, sat at the deathbed literally dozens and dozens of times. So when I was about 23, which was only about 2 years ago, because I'm still pretty young, just joking. When I was about 23 years old, I remember doing a funeral for a guy. He didn't attend our church, but the funeral home had phoned me up and said there's somebody who passed away. They would like a minister to perform their funeral. Would you come? And I said, sure. So I showed up, and this gentleman had died in his 70s, and exactly one person came to his funeral. And I don't want to make any judgment because we have no idea the backstory. I didn't, like I said, he wasn't in my church. I didn't know anything about him. But I thought about, imagine living 70 years on the earth, right? Imagine, being, going through life 70 years and precisely one person comes to celebrate your life and your legacy. And, as a 23-year-old, that shook me to my core, because I thought, I want my life to count. I want my life to matter. Now, it doesn't have to be money, doesn't have to be success or fame, the way the world measures it, but I just want to make a difference in people's lives. And and so my message to your viewers here is make a difference. Like Healthy, Wealthy, and Wise is a great vehicle to do that. But if it's not Healthy, Wealthy, and Wise, who cares? Find something that can help you fulfill your destiny. You don't want to be that person lying on your deathbed saying, I wish I had it, and it's so often fear that holds us back. So we need to break free of fear, and we need to step into our reality. You know what? Fear is irrational. Fear is illogical. And frankly, fear is extremely unhealthy. And so, break free of fear, step into your destiny, get after it. You know what I mean? I mean, it's Friday. Hey, you know what? This is a great time to think about over the weekend, how am I going to change my life? And then start on Sunday, start on Monday, and get after it. Why? Because you don't know. No one knows how much time they have.
Right.
So, be encouraged with that. It's never too late, but you know what? It's also never too early. So stop telling yourself you need to wait another 5 years. Get in, go after it.
Right. Yeah, no, that's incredible. I love that question. How can I change my life, and how can I change the lives of others?
That's right.
Like Jasmine. Thank you, Abe. That's all we have for today. I appreciate your time. I thank you for being here. And Jasmine, of course.
Well, thanks a lot, Greg. And Jasmine, you want to say bye to everybody?
Bye.
Okay, thanks, Greg.
Thank you.